How's it going, folks? Just round to Mum and Dad's because today I'm starting on the build. Brought over most of the stuff I'll need. There's still a few bits and pieces. I'm going to need to get like some smaller 1" or 25mm pipe. Got a whole heap of fittings from the old aquaculture system there, and other bits and pieces that will help us out. New air pump, AC DC, so it's got a battery in there as a backup. And I got one of my old Jabo pumps that I didn't really have a lot of luck on with the aquaculture system, so I'm going to use that in here. And random tools and bits and pieces. So what I thought I'd do is just do a little bit of a series for you supporters, just to show you how the build's going and yeah, give you a bit of a behind the scenes type look. I'm not sure whether I'll actually even post a full video on how this is being done to YouTube yet. Because it's going to be a lot of making it up as I go, because I want to try a few new things out. To begin with, we just need to level off this IBC, because you'll probably be able to make out that it's on a little bit of a slope there. It has settled, it's had weight in it. Dad had 1,000 litres in there for roughly about 3 months, that it was just excess from the rainwater tanks that he used to water the garden. So we know it's pretty much all settled as much as it's going to. We're just going to pack it up with some old blueboard or fibrous cement, just probably about 3/4 of an inch or 20mm on this side, and we should be right to go. Now on this build here, we're going to be doing it a little bit different. I'm not too sure if it's going to be a split system, whether it's going to have water coming from the pump to both fish and grow beds yet, or whether I'll plumb it up as a single loop. I'm actually going to plumb it up both ways, just as a bit of an explanation for folks, but this one will be different in that the solids lifting outlet won't be there. It will be coming out down the bottom, a little 1" solids lifting outlet into a radial flow filter, which is this little jobby here. So that's around about 60 litres or whatever that is in gallons, and that'll just be sitting there, and the overflow will be running back into the sump tank. And just under the edge of the sump tank, I'm going to have a basket full of the media, the biomedia. So there is somewhere for some nitrification to occur before the water gets pumped back to the grow beds and also the fish tank itself. The skimmer, I'm not too sure on what skimmer arrangement I'm going to use here to try and keep the fish food out. I'll have a bit of a play around with that. And the other unknown also is the valve that I'll be using, because most of the PVC valves that you buy, they're either a full shut or a full open valve. They're not really designed to be left half open. Not that I think it will really matter in this situation, because it's all going to be done by gravity and not pressure. The other thing that Dad's doing, other than rounding that up, is sorting out some cladding for this, because obviously it needs to be cladded, and we're going to need some better feet for these little stands here for the grow beds, mainly because it's going to be very hard to sort of landscape around, you know, cinder blocks or Besser blocks, whatever you want to call them. We're just going to get one done to begin with, because I'd like to clean out this grow bed, and my thoughts are to transplant bits and pieces from here into the new grow bed, then clean all the muck out of here, because this one has had a load of fish food put through it, as well as sea salt and fish emulsion and things like that. So I want to clean this bed out before we have the system running properly. I dare say there's going to be a fair bit of root and organic matter down in there from plants that were once in there. But yeah, as I said the other day, and as you can see, she's going pretty well for a little organic hydroponic setup. The rhubarb, Mum's really chuffed about this, so you're going to have to be very gentle with the rhubarb. It's the first time she's got it to grow up here, is in the aquaponics. So yeah, that's the plan. Today we're not going to get a lot done because I've got an appointment with the cabinet maker, but I'll get stuck into this and give you a bit of a look at where I get up to at least today, and I'll do little mini updates along the way as well. So that's where we got up to today, but I'll give you a bit of a heads up on my thoughts for the time being. Like I said, I am going to be setting this up 2 different ways so I can show them, explain it in a video, how to do a split flow and a single loop, even though technically it's not going to be a single loop, because we do have the dual drain. So we've got the skimmer up here and a drain I'll tell you about in a second that's going to the radial flow separator. Yeah, so this line here to begin with, the first way it'll be plumbed out is straight out via gravity to the beds, it will terminate, because we're only going to have this bed and the one on the sump tank set up to begin with. It's going to terminate at the end there, and then we're going to have a pipe coming up here or down here I should say, to feed this bed, and the other one will go to that corner or just straight over the other side there, and that'll feed those beds, and they'll be run by bell siphons. I might even run constant flow on one bed just to show, you know, give an example for folks. So that'll be the first way it's plumbed up, and then after that what we'll have is split flow with this going straight back down into the sump tank, as well as the water from the radial flow filter, and yeah, just under pressure from the pump up to the grow beds as well as the fish tank. The fish tank will be having a venturi in it, as well as the air stones, mainly because the pump I've got is overpowered for this system, so I might as well put some of it to good use and pop some oxygen in here. Now for the radial flow filter, this is pretty much all the arrangement. Obviously the pipe lengths are going to differ a bit, but what we've got here is the drain that sits on the bottom. This is actually one from Paul Van's original system, so it was just laying around, so I figured I might as well use it. Twin 45 up here, and then a line out to a uniseal that will be in the side of the bed. This will actually be sitting in the center of the fish tank. Then going into a valve on the outside of the tank, a nice little coupling there to make it easy, so we can pull that pipe in and out of the fish tank if need be. Then across and then up directly under the center of the radial flow settler, where it will be covered by this 100mm or 4-inch stilling well. So that will be what redirects the water down into the vessel itself. The valve there, even though it's either an on or off, it's not designed to be used partially open apparently. I will be using it in here. I really don't think it'll be that much of an issue. I can't foresee any solids being stuck in there and causing a problem. I mean, all you have to do is open that up fully, and then you've got, what, 1,000 litres, 250 gallons of pressure pushing out through a 1-inch pipe or 25mm pipe, so that'll blow any muck out. Now the one concern I do have is something going awry down here and draining the tank out. So I'm tossing up whether or not to use a one-way valve somewhere on the outside, so if something does happen on that side of the pipe, it won't drain the pump out, the tank out. Worst case scenario, if something in here fails, a bit of gunk doesn't let this close properly, we'll have extra time to get out here and work out what's going on before it fails. The other option, I suppose, is not to have this here, which is a fail point, glue everything, and have a threaded coupling here. So pop one of them in there, and then hopefully if it's all glued, there shouldn't be an issue anyway. And yeah, down through the bottom there, I'll just run the standpipe up through uniseal. So that should do a fantastic job in that situation. As for cladding, we've had a bit of a talk to Mum and Dad. Not too sure whether there's going to be enough recycled palings to go around here that Dad's been collecting out the back, or whether he might just paint up some plywood and put it on there. Paint it a nice brown to go with our nice 80s brick house front. So that's something they might be doing. I will keep you guys informed along the way on what's going on, and I might shoot a little bit of a vlog update as well for the folks over on YouTube, just so I've got some sort of content for those guys as well. Just to let you know, one reason I probably wouldn't post it to YouTube is the amount of people think that this is the way and I'm telling people how to build an aquaponic system. It's not. As I mentioned at the start of this clip for you guys, this is a bit of an experiment. It's the first time I've done a dual drain like this through the radial flow and then into a small basket of biomedia. I can't see any problem with it, but yeah. Anyway, I better stop rabbiting on. I do hope you're all well and happy, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, folks.